Hey everybody, Darryl here. I just want to share exactly what's been going on with me for the last month. I know I've been missing on social media and a few other things, and I just wanted to let you guys know exactly what's been going on with me for like the last month. As you can tell, my voice is a little bit different. My breathing is a little bit different. I unfortunately went through Covid-19, and my experience was not the typical experience, I'd say. It affected me a lot more than the average person. The reason why I'm doing this is I just want you guys to know exactly what I went through, what my family went through, what some of my friends went through, and the love and support that we were given by multiple people while I was down and out. My last day of work was the 5th or 6th of November. It's the 4th today, and I'm still not back to work, but I will be back to work on Monday, so come visit me at the St. James Well. I didn't feel well on the Sunday. I had been off already for a couple of days taking care of Kai because my wife had earned a night downtown, and I had decided that we were giving her some time downtown and I was going to take care of Kai. So Friday was fine, Saturday was fine, Sunday started feeling a little bit like I had the flu coming on. So I let Riley know, my boss at the St. James Well, that I didn't feel well. And after a discussion, he's like, just go get checked out on Monday morning, and then you're just getting the flu, and we'll get you back. So that's exactly what I did. I hit up the drive-in center right by Coquitlam Center. Just made an appointment online, and they got me in, got the thing done. I'd been isolating from the moment that I started feeling ill on Sunday, except for, of course, going to the drive-in COVID clinic. Got checked out and then drove straight home, back into my bedroom, and waited for the results. Within 24 hours, they had gotten back to me, Fraser Health, and let me know that I had COVID, and that I needed to isolate, which I'd already been doing from the Sunday. So that is the Tuesday. From that point on, things went pretty south for me. Breathing became more difficult. In order to make myself feel better, I decided I would always take a shower to make myself feel better. On Wednesday night, I took a shower to make myself just feel a little bit more whole, and got out of the shower and had a very difficult time breathing, which freaked me out a bit. So I just let Carla know that I was having some issues. She phoned 811, and then after a discussion with 811, decided to call 911, to call an ambulance to come get me. So ambulance came. She asked me a few questions. Did I know where I was? How was I feeling? What did it feel like to breathe? A few other things. They put me on oxygen right away. It could have gone. She was assessing whether to leave me at home or to take me. After the assessment, she decided to take me back to Eagle Ridge. So I ended up in the ambulance, which I've never done before. Freaked me out a little bit. Fortunately, the hospital is just down the street. and they took me to the hospital. Ended up in an isolation room where they assessed me for the first night. I was very fortunate that Dawn Johnson, one of my friend Rusty Johnson's wife, who is the breathing specialist or something like that at Eagle Ridge. She was a little smile through a window, gave me a wave. She came in and talked to me for a little bit, asked me a few questions. They started monitoring my breathing and my blood pressure and a few other things. Had a few, they changed my, they gave me oxygen right away. I was on approximately 4 liters of oxygen right away off the bat. And they assessed me for the next 12 hours. I got moved to a different part. About the next day, I got moved to a different part of the ER. And that's where I started my stay at Eagle Ridge. Staff there was amazing. Nurses, doctors, cleaning staff, everybody, they came in, check on me. Yeah, the doctors, they want you to do just like normal stuff, like, can you get up? Can you go to the washroom? Can you do this? Can you do that? So one of the more, because of COVID, I wasn't allowed to go use the washroom in the ER. So I was given a portable washroom that was right by my bed. They assessed that I was struggling too much to go to the washroom, unfortunately. So that meant that I had to get a catheter inserted downtown, which was very uncomfortable. But the doctor said that I was struggling so much to breathe that they didn't even want me getting up to go to the washroom to go pee. That they just wanted me resting as much as possible on my oxygen, and that my breathing was so hampered at the time that they didn't even want me to get up to go to the washroom. So that just showed you exactly how much I was struggling at the time. So I was there for another day and a half in the ER until they found a room for me in the COVID part of the hospital. I was put into an isolation room first for, I guess, the first set of assessment. This is just as I've seen it. I don't know exactly what it was, but I had my own nurse that sat right by my door, by my room. They were looking at my blood pressure at the time. Just before that, I had got a CT scan of my lungs. Blood work had been taken twice. They had also started giving me an anticoagulant medicine that had to be given to me 4 times a day in my stomach, just to make sure that I didn't get blood clots. So that was one of the more uncomfortable things that had to happen 4 times a day, on top of giving blood almost every day to start. And they could come at any time to check my blood pressure, come in at any time to check my oxygen levels. When I first got there, the year I was looking, I was at in the 80%, 80 to 85%. And then it slowly creeped up a bit, and enough that when they were trying to assess whether to send me to Royal Columbian or to keep me at Eagle Ridge, they decided to keep me at Eagle Ridge, which I'm very thankful for. I knew that I'd be separated from my family. Eagle Ridge is only 5 minutes from my house. So I knew no matter what, my wife, Carla, who's been amazing through all this, and my son, Kai, were only a 5-minute drive away. Although I couldn't see them the entire time I was there. They assessed that I was doing a little better. So they took me out of that first isolation room. I was only there for about 4 hours maybe. And then I was moved into another room. I was then put into that room, my next room, for approximately 5 hours. And they were trying to keep all the COVID patients together. So I was moved into another COVID room with another patient. So this is when things get a little bit sad. That patient, an older woman, I got in there and she was screaming and proceeded to scream through the late afternoon and evening, just every 10 seconds screaming over and over. And I'm trying to get my head around this, trying to get some sleep. I'm in the ER. I'm not sleeping a lot because my sleep's interrupted because of blood tests and checking my oxygen, checking my blood pressure, sending me for x-ray, sending me for CT, people walking in and out of the room, cleaners, nurses, doctors. I was beginning to just, I don't want to say it was losing heart, but just the situation was weighing on me really heavy. So I dealt, and this lady proceeded to scream and scream and scream as she's dealing with COVID too. So I get it. She was maybe dealing with some other things too. That's none of my business, of course. That patient unfortunately passed away while I was in the room. Nurses, doctors, orderlies came in, took her away. I won't lie, I freaked out a bit and proceeded to phone my lovely wife. This was happening at, I don't know, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I proceeded to phone her about 26 times because she wouldn't answer. Her phone was on silent. She was putting Kai down. And she finally phoned me back. And I told her I had told the nurses and the doctors that I wanted out, that I did not want to be in the hospital anymore. I'd been there for 5 days at this point, and my other patient passing away, me not getting any sleep, the screaming, it just came out, and I'm like, I want to get out of here. Let me go home. I packed up all my stuff, told my wife that I wanted to come home, and she proceeded to tell me that would be a stupid move. You still have COVID. Your breathing's not where it needs to be. You need to stay. And I begged her for the next 10 minutes to let me come home. She said no, and that it wasn't the best idea. And I was sad and upset, but I also came to realize in that moment that I didn't want to get her sick. I didn't want to get Kai sick. So I decided when the nurse came back to tell her that I was fine to stay, and that they had told me also that I needed to move to another room with 2 other patients. I was already freaked out, and I wanted to be by myself in my own room, but with COVID protocols in the hospital, they keep COVID patients together. So I had to go to the other COVID room. So this is my 1, 2, 3. This is my 3rd room or 3rd move. In with 2 patients that are in their 80s. They were really nice. They'd both been, one was taken out of his own home because he got COVID and he didn't want to get his wife sick. And the other had come out of an old folks home and a care clinic. And she had contracted COVID too. So the 3 of us ended up rooming together for the next week or so. Fortunately, both of them went home after recovering, which was great. Didn't want to see anybody else pass away from it while I was there, and so I proceeded to go through the next so I guess I'd been there for 5 days, so I hadn't ended up being in Eagle Ridge for the next 10 after that. So I was in Eagle Ridge for a total of 15 days. During those 15 days, all I was looking at was curtains. I was looking at my portable toilet that was by my bed with a bedpan. Well, it was not in a bedpan, but it's like in this seat. I've got another video to show you exactly what my bedroom area at the hospital looked like. It was kind of like this chair with this cardboard bedpan, and then you can go there and poop, and that's put beside your bed because only one patient can use the washroom, and that becomes their personal washroom. And then the other 2 patients, we get this portable toilet that we get to use for pooping. And we get, I'm still at the time on catheter, so I'm peeing in a bag that someone has to replace a couple times a day, which is that is one of the more moments where you feel quite helpless when they're putting it in and they're emptying it for you, and it's just one of those things. So yeah, just the experience of I'm on IV for part of this stay. They're giving me steroids a couple times, 2-3 times a day, just to make sure that my lungs are strong enough to get better. They're looking for my breathing, for my oxygen levels to get into the 95th percentile and up. So every day a nurse would come and say, "Darryl, let's go for a walk." And the walk being only in my room alone. I got to walk from a window to the door, to the door, to the window, and I would do that 3 times, 4 times a day, 10 times back and forth. And they would watch my oxygen levels over these next 10 days. slowly progress and slowly get better. When I was in my bed, it would be in like the 92 to 95 range, which was not bad. And I'm like, awesome. Hopefully I'll be able to go home. But then when I'd go through these walking tests, my breathing, unfortunately, would go down to between 82 to 85%. So the percentage of oxygen you're getting is to the point where nurses were saying that if this was any other patient, you wouldn't even be able to talk. But for some odd reason, COVID patients can talk at 82%, 79% oxygen saturation. And that's just craziness. If it was any lower, it's like you'd be delirious. Yeah, so I would do this over and over and over again. Over this period, once again, nurses are taking care of you. They're bringing you your lunches and your dinners. I'll give it to Eagle Ridge. My lunches and dinners and breakfasts were, they're not first class, but they were much better than what I would picture as hospital food. I haven't had to stay in the hospital before. This was a new experience for me, but they bring me breakfast in the morning. I have this thing for hard-boiled eggs now because I got 2 hard-boiled eggs in the morning with some cereal and some fruit. And then for lunch, they normally brought you like a sandwich and some soup. And then for dinner, it was like, you kind of look forward to this during the day, but they'd have roast pork one night, they'd have turkey another day, some lasagna, it was another day. I'll give it to Eagle Ridge. I've heard of terrible food at hospitals. Eagle Ridge, it wasn't bad. I was starting to go a little stir crazy. During this process, all I had was my phone. So, I had Facebook and Instagram, so I got to keep up with all you guys. I did have Amazon Prime, so I did a little bit of shopping while I was in the hospital. Also Prime Video, so movies, Netflix, thank God. And I also had Apple TV. So access to those things saved me in the hospital. There was no TV at Eagle Ridge, but they do have free Wi-Fi. So awesome. It was my access to the outside world. During this time, I ended up spending a total of 15 days in the hospital. My family could not come see me. It was starting to weigh on me being away from my family. Carla, one day, I don't know what day it was. Maybe I'd been in there for maybe 8-9 days, says to me, Kai said that he wanted to get COVID so he could come be in the room with me. And that killed me. Also motivated me to want to get better. It was maybe my lowest point and maybe my most inspired point with my stay. In either case, I was starting to hope that I could go home around day 12. They saw that I was feeling better. My breathing was getting better when I was doing my walks. But they weren't there yet. So I was there for another 3 days. Still getting poked for blood. Still taking the anticoagulants 4 times a day. All these things to, including taking the steroids to make me feel better. I was feeling like I could go home around day 14, 15. And the doctor said, just a couple more days, Darryl, just a couple more days. And I was like, okay, just keep going. Keep walking, get your lungs better. The reason why my lungs had been so damaged was that on top of getting COVID, I got pneumonia, which is unfortunate. On top of my throat surgery that I had gotten, I don't know whether you guys know, I had polyps on my vocal cords. So I had surgery about 10 weeks ago for that at University Hospital. So I was like, shoot, man, I don't want to be here for a couple more days. It's been 15 days. I really want to go home. On that 15th day, doctor was doing his rounds, and I'd seen a couple doctors already during my stay, and a new doctor happened to walk in. And the doctor says to me, "Hey, Darryl, it's Brent." And I'm like, "Brent? Brad's cousin, Brent." I was like, "Dude, what's going on?" So me and Brent, Dr. Gall, I've known him since I'd met him when we were in high school in Powell River. He was from Vancouver. He was visiting his family in Powell River, Brad Hindle. And he's like, "Dude, this is unfortunate." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know. I'm getting better. It's day 15. I just want to get out of here." And he's like, "Well, you're looking really good. Let's try to get you out of here. Hopefully we can get you out of here in a couple of days." And I was like, "Okay, well, and me and him proceeded to talk about a couple of times, how our families were doing, a little bit of this, a little of that. It was good to see a friendly face, just because I hadn't seen really anybody that I knew besides a few of the nurses that I did know. And 8 hours later, a nurse comes in and says, "Dr. Gall says that you can go home, Mr. Castro. Darryl, it's time for you to go home." And I was like, yes. And phoned my wife and let her know. And I'm like, this crazy thing happened. Buddy from back in the day who became a doctor, he's the one who gets to release me today. I get to come home. So an hour later, Carla came to get me after I got myself cleaned up, and I got to go home. So a few of the things about the whole experience. I don't know whether I've gotten a real grasp of how sick I really was. I had nurse friends, unfortunately, a friend that ended up, as part of my care, tell me that, Darryl, you were very, very ill. It could have gone either way for you. If you'd shown up a day later, if you had you essentially might not be around. I will say, because of the care that I got in the hospital, that I believe the level of professionalism and care, the decisions that were made about my care, helped me get to here now. And I'm able to hug my son. I'm able to kiss my wife because of the care that I got. It was an experience I won't forget. I've never been that sick before. It was scary watching someone pass away from COVID while I'm there. Through all of it, I let a few friends know exactly what was going on with me. I got text messages from a bunch of you, and it lifted me. I got FaceTime calls from my mother, from my wife, almost every day, my sister, almost every day. I know my mom was scared for me because her cousin had just passed away from COVID in California. So I didn't want to scare her. I know my dad's not one to share exactly how he's feeling all the time, but I know he was scared for me too. I love you guys. Just the experience is what the experience is. My wife, I love you. Thank you so much. You were a rock through all of it. Yes, me and you, we got into it a little bit, but I was scared. You were strong for me when I needed you to. You took care of Kai. To our friends that checked on Carla and Kai, I love you guys. Thank you so much. Dropping off groceries, games, little flowers, things for my wife, for Kai, checking on me, making sure that I'm okay. Thank you so much. I don't know exactly where I am in this process right now. I'm feeling a million times better. I want to say thank you to Riley and the Abelmans too. They supported me. The St. James Well, my coworkers, they supported me through this entire process too. I know it had been every day I got a call or a text message from Riley checking on me, making sure that I'm okay. Not once did they mention money or anything like that. They're taking care of my family through all this too. And Thank you. This was tough on me mentally. Just wanted to see my friends and family again, and didn't want the hospital room to be the last thing that I saw, because I know that's what some families are going through. I finally got out of the hospital. When I got out, a few of the things were, so one, there's no showers. So from the last shower I took was the shower that made me feel like I didn't feel like I could breathe anymore. So I got home, I took a shower. For somewhat, my legs were wobbly. I got into the shower and I felt like I was going to slip and fall every second I was in the shower, that first shower. I was wonky. I hadn't really stood for that long. During all this, I cleaned myself up. I've got pictures I'll show you guys of, I didn't shave for that 2-3 weeks. I was pretty scraggly. I got pretty scraggly. Didn't get to cut my nails. It was really, really good to take a shower, to do a proper brush my teeth, to cut my nails, because my nails there's no bath or anything. I'd been giving myself sponge baths, bath in a bag. It's a funny look. It's a blue bag. It says bath on it, and the nurses are great. They warm it up for you, and you just gear down, get naked, and you wipe yourself down, making sure that you don't knock out the catheter, or and you gotta clean yourself up. And then they give you fresh pajamas, which I would change I didn't want to. I'd change my pajamas about every couple of days. But it was good to get home. And Carla I had to isolate when I got home after being, I'd already been isolating for about 17 days if you include the 2-3 days that I had isolated before I'd gone into the hospital for another 15 days. Isolated again when I got home. Carla had everything ready. She would just place food outside my door. If they were in the room, I'd wear masks. My doctors had told me that I would possibly test positive for the next. They said anything from a week to 8 weeks, where COVID could possibly be tested positive in my system. So I was also told in the hospital that I would need 2 clean tests before I went out. Sleeping in my own bed that night was amazing. But I slept like shit because I had gotten used to being in the hospital and having a lot of ambient noise going on. People getting up to go to the washroom, nurses coming and going, being interrupted in my sleep, to all these things. And and I'm processing the process of all this. So, I I asked Carla to grab me a scale because I looked at myself in the mirror after I'd shaved and cleaned myself up, and I'm like, man, I am pretty slim. Can you grab me a scale? I had gone in to the hospital at around 184 pounds. And I got out at about 163 to 64 pounds. So I had lost about 20 pounds while during that 16, 17 days. One of the side effects was that first week, I guess I was sick. I also lost taste. I don't know if anybody else has got COVID and they didn't have taste, but yeah, but fortunately, you guys all know I love food. So fortunately, my taste is back. I've had some really great meals since I got out. Thanks to my wife. Thanks to Kai. Me and Kai went for a meal. Went with George for a really good meal too. Thank you, Georgie. Yeah, so it is the 4th of December. I am feeling better. I had an appointment with Dr. Abelman. He's my boss, and he's also my physician. So he's got me on a couple of puffers, which I need to take about 12 times a day right now in order to help me along in my lungs. I watch the news and I see the COVID cases. I see that BC's got between 250 and 350 people a day on average in the hospital dealing with COVID, with about, out of that 250, about 75 of them are in ICU. I was never in the ICU. I was in the COVID ward of my hospital on oxygen for 11 of those days, taking steroids in order to help me breathe. My only goal was to get home. And the reason I want you guys to watch this was that I wanted you guys to know that one of your friends was very, very sick with COVID-19. That although I felt I was fine, I've been told otherwise. That as easy as it is to say now that I got better, it could have got worse. It's no joke. If you are one of my friends that say that it's not real, that this isn't happening to people. It is. It almost took me away from my family. So you decide, you look me in the eye and you can know that you can get really sick from this. Yes, most people are recovering fine, but there are those of us that got really sick from it. There are hundreds of thousands of people this year that have succumbed to it and will never see their families again. I'm good now. I've had a couple clean tests now. Fraser Health has got a hold of me and said that I'm good to go as of last Friday, and that I was able to leave my isolation in my room as of Friday. I went in to the pub. I saw my friend Riley. I hadn't drank in a month either. It was great to see him. It was great to be back in the world, and I'm slowly recovering from all of this. And I'm back at work as of Monday, so come visit me at the well on Monday. This was something that I wanted to share with you guys because I just want it to be real for all of you guys too, because it was very real for me and very real for my family. To my friends, to my wife, to my family. I love all you guys. Thank you for all of this. Thank you to everyone, our whole community that took care of my family when I couldn't because I was in the hospital. All my love and gratitude to all of you. I can't wait to see all of you guys again. I want to see all of you. I want to have a beverage, and you can come by the house or come by the pub, and I'm healthy, so I can give anyone a hug that wants it. I love all you guys. If anybody has any questions, please DM me. I know this was a long thing. If you watch this whole thing, thank you. I can't wait to see every one of you again. I love you. Bye.